Hi there, this is a quick tips on kind of video, hopefully to help teachers that are using PowerPoint and would like to present using PowerPoint along with other applications, something that you might find useful if you are teaching online via Teams or something, or perhaps recording your own tutorials. Okay, so the problem is with PowerPoint that when you present your presentation, what will happen is it will take up the whole of the screen as you'd expect with PowerPoint. Okay, but actually what you'd perhaps like to do is be using PowerPoint along with other applications, web browsers, movies, etc., to try and help with whatever it is that you're teaching at the time. And there's a fairly easy solution to this. You go to slideshow. Well, actually, the first solution might be that all you do is you just kind of do the windows side by side. So here we can see that I've got a web page open that's related to the content that I'm perhaps going to show students and things. But the problem with this is you've got all of this extra screen estate here and things that you perhaps don't want students seeing that's distracting, and it reduces the size of the slide itself. So the solution to this is if we go to slideshow and set up slideshow, we can change the default so that instead of PowerPoint presenting in full screen, it will present to an individual window. And you'll see what happens now is that instead of it taking up the whole screen when I present, it just takes up a window, and whatever size the window is what you will kind of get. So this time when we are sort of presenting in a split sort of screen like this, you're seeing just the presentation without the extra information, and the slides are a little bit kind of larger. Sort of related to that, if you instead of just using a web-based app or something, sometimes you might want to include a camera with a document scanner or a camera of yourself so that you can talk to the students whilst you're presenting. So in this case, I'm just going to show you, this is the Windows 10 free camera application that's installed as part of Windows. And you can here, in my case, I've got it connected to a little USB webcam that uses a document overhead kind of camera thing. And you can kind of demonstrate whatever it is you need to do with that at the same time. But I want to show you a slightly better way, because if we were to kind of have a full screen presentation like this, and we had the camera up, it kind of looks like it's all working fine. We've got the camera over here and I'm kind of describing things, but as soon as I move on in my presentation, all of a sudden the camera is going to go to the back, and we'd have to sort of bring it back to the front. And also a little bit like PowerPoint, we've got all of this kind of edges of information that's kind of distracting to people. So my next tip then is, if you were to install the free open source piece of software called VLC Media Player, not only is it an excellent kind of tool to have for playing lots of different formats of media, you can also use it a little bit like the camera app, and you can choose a camera from here. It's a little bit more technical in that I'm going to have to go and change some settings manually. I know my camera's a 16:9 aspect ratio. But then it essentially just works pretty much the same as the Windows camera does. So you've got a good kind of view here, and you can again go in and describe things, whatever it is that you're doing. But what you can do with this one that you couldn't do with the Windows camera app, I'm just going to resize it a little bit, is I can do view always on top. So now when I go to my presentation, you can see I'm using the presentation, and here we are also showing the camera at the same time. One last sort of tip with that though is, if you use the shortcut keys Control and H, it removes a bit more of the toolbars and things, so you can kind of see the camera there a bit better. Okay, I hope that's been helpful to you, and that will improve people's presentations whilst they're using other applications. Thanks for watching.